Well, hello. How's it going? Welcome to the new channel. How am I doing 2 years later? 2 years since what? 2 years since I found out I was autistic. If you missed that video and you're like, who the hell is this person? Why do they matter at all? I made a video that's linked somewhere and it blew up. Like 200,000 views, like, right, should have made the new channel first, put it here, but like I wanted people to see it. Anyways, you guys have been asking a lot on that channel, how am I doing 2 years after my assessment? And I gotta tell you, I was gonna script this and I didn't. So this is gonna be one of those kinds of videos, but I'm not doing great. So in the time since I was diagnosed autistic, watch the video, it's a hoot. I lost my grandmother, I lost my dog, my husband lost his job, oh, it's good. We lost a lot of other people. So my husband's grandmother passed away, one of his dear friends passed away. We have had a lot of bad things. My business is failing, like it is compiling, okay? It's great, I'm buffering, it's fantastic. It's not been good. And then the thing that like they don't tell you about finding out that you're autistic, right, is that everything gets worse. So you thought you were doing bad before you were assessed. You have no idea. You have no idea. Or maybe you do. Maybe you've been assessed and you're like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you mean. Because like, every day is a legitimate struggle. There have been like months, like weeks where I can't even get out of bed. I'm not doing anything. Like it looks like I'm doing things because social media is a lie, but I'm not doing anything. I gotta clean these. So that's the thing. It was like, you find out that you're autistic, right? And you're like, oh, it all makes sense. Because it is a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10, would do it again. would brace for impact this time though. Yeah, because everything suddenly becomes clear. You're like, oh yes, that time in 4th grade when that person was shitty to me and said this thing that was like super inappropriate that I didn't quite comprehend at the time, or like I made a face and I got in trouble for it and they gave me time out, or they stuck me in the special education class, which did nothing to actually help me, and everybody called me lazy and blah, 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 blah. Like all of it starts to like, starts to make sense. And even like people in your life start to make more sense because like you start to see it everywhere and you're like, wow, because we're like magnetically attracted to like other neurodivergent folk. Okay, it's just like, we just like, okay. So you find people and you'll start to see it, which is a whole other topic. And I'm going to do a video because all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. You and you too. And you give me shit, but it's all you, you know what I mean? You just start to see it everywhere. But like, you do need to be careful because, you know, unless you're like a professional, don't be diagnosing your friends. Don't be doing that. You know, share with them some information if you feel safe to do so, but don't really put your nose in other people's business. That's a really important life lesson. So everything gets worse. And I kind of wish that I had known that. Like, I think I had heard people mention that the autism gets worse. I was not prepared. Because what it means is like, and you can't put it back in the box. Oi, they should come with a warning label. You're thinking of being, they should tell you this actually. Before your assessment, your person, whoever's assessing you, should sit you down and be like, before we go any further, just so you know, depending on how this all goes, your life's gonna implode. And it may, even if you don't get your autism diagnosis, because if you're going for one, you're probably pretty sure. And then if you get some trash doctor who's like, oh, it's just anxiety. People. But like, yeah, when I was going to script this, actually, I was going to script this yesterday. And I looked at Eric. Eric's my husband, if you don't know. And I was like, so like, how would you say that I'm doing? And the pause, guys, the pause. And I was like, that good, eh? He's like, yeah, you crumple. Like you just, everything. And you just, and I was like, oh, what do you mean? I thought I've been doing good. And he's like, no, no, in areas of my life where apparently, where I used to be able to put on like the game face, you know, this face, the game face, and just like do the thing, even if it was like hard now, because I know that there's like consequences to pushing myself to do things, like autistically speaking. It's like the blindfold came off and like now I can see the cliff as I'm racing towards it, right? And so yeah, apparently I don't handle things very well anymore, which I mean, it's not like I didn't know that, but I have become so like intensely reliant upon Eric to just exist in this world now. It is crazy. And I'm sure it's not been easy for him, because he deals with his own stuff, and I, you know, like it's tough, guys. It's interesting. So I definitely don't know how this would look if I had no support at all. I also wasn't really prepared for the response that I got online. I mean, you guys said some amazing stuff, right? But there was also a lot of really shitty comments, and I wasn't really prepared for that. And I think that, like, when you don't know that you're disabled and you just like, right? I mean, because people have a really hard time with this. They're like, well, you're not disabled. You can do all of these things. It's like, okay, but what you don't see is like when I spend time, like, okay, so say like I'm spending time with you and like we're out and we're doing things. Do you know that it takes me like 3 or 4 days, sometimes 2 weeks to recover from that? That's not normal. And that is really massively detrimental to my existence. And it prevents me from going and doing things, you know, like basic, like human things, you know? So, and like making my peace with all of that as well has been interesting. People who really don't get it, who pretend to get it, but who just really don't get it. And I mean, that's fine. I have definitely found myself like hitting my cap, my limit a lot quicker and a lot more. I find that I am not as forgiving when people trespass on my boundaries. But it's also been really difficult because it's all well and good for me to be like, oh, my boundaries and all of these things, but I still mask like a crazy person because you have to. And it's really this very common misconception, because it's one thing for me to act like this in a video, but I won't do this out in person because you have to keep yourself safe, which is a phase that you'll go through. You'll be like, oh, I'm gonna be my truest self all the time, and you don't do that. Save yourself the heartache. Don't do that, because this world is not designed for us, and this world is cruel. This world is horrible. And the thing with that is like, even neurotypical people will mask to some extent. Don't get mad at me. I know you're mad at me as soon as I say that. I get pissed when people tell me that too. It's like, you don't know. It's not the same, because it's not the same. Okay? Like, it is not like hugely damaging to your entire being when you mask versus when we mask, okay? So it's a different kind of a thing, but it is part of the song and dance that we have to do to exist in this world where the majority of people want to do things this way, and we're like, hey, okay. But when you become so much more aware of it, like I don't know, because I wouldn't even say like I'm halfway out the other side of this. I feel like I am still smack dab in the middle of the shit. Like, I found out that my entire existence up until this point has been, I don't want to say it's been like a lie. And this is where the people in your world will have a hard time with this, because whether it's friends or family or whoever, and I mean nothing bad by this is just the reality of the situation. You know, it happened. Like, what are you gonna do? But people get really upset because you're upset about how a percentage of your existence prior to your diagnosis, like how that went, because it wasn't all bad, right? It's not all bad. Like, there were moments where I, could celebrate my little autistic, joyous moments and and be my truest self and do the things and feel the love and have all of these experiences, but that does not negate, like that doesn't cancel out the bad stuff that happened, because obviously we get to the point in our lives where we're like, I need a diagnosis. Why do you think we got there? Like, why do you think we made that decision? It's because life was hard and like needlessly so. Okay? So yeah, that's just like my 2 cents. Also, if you are also a member of my audience on my other channel and you're like, wow, like Courtney's gone off the deep end, they're acting really crazy. Yeah, this is, I am really making an effort just to talk to you exactly how I would talk to you if you were like really for really here and I was like unmasked and things. So I am gonna look different here than I look over there, which is a video unto itself, because the number of people in my life who are like, oh, well, you act so together on your social media and your YouTube channel, and why can't you be like that for me? And it's like, you're part of the problem, but thank you. I definitely don't regret it. I have other videos where I've talked about like the consequences and some of the things, which I've kind of covered a little bit here too. I wish, and I wish this for you, so I'm looking right at you, okay? It's hard. Be prepared. Like, be prepared. Like, if you are watching this and you are, waiting to go in for your diagnosis and you're prepared and you have all of your stuff and your paperwork and your things and whatever, or you don't, that's fine too. You do you. Be prepared for the aftermath of this. Like, have a plan. Like, have some kind of a support system. I don't know. Just figure it out. Just figure it out, man. Because I'm telling you. And manage your expectations. Please, oh God, please manage your expectations. Because it's not what it isn't. It's like the visual is like, okay, so you walk through the doors of autism, right? And you have your diagnosis, you have your certificate. It's not a certificate, it's a booklet, okay? That you have your paperwork, you're feeling all of fish, and you walk through the doors and you expect to land on a big fluffy feather mattress of love and approval and kindness and compassion, and it's not. In fact, it's more akin to one of those, like, you ever see the people who walk on the spikes that are so close together that you can walk on them? It's kind of like that, except for they're a little bit further spaced apart. And you just get skewered by everybody. And people that you thought would just start treating you like better or different or be more accommodating, and it just doesn't happen. And you're going to be constantly having to pick up pieces and advocate for yourself and fight with people on the internet about random shit that makes no sense, and you're gonna find that you're angry all the time because you feel so bitter. I made it to 35 years old. There have been people on that video who've made it into their 60s and 70s and gotten diagnosed. Can you imagine what that feels like? Because I can't. I'm already at 35. I'm like, the best years of my life. I don't even, are you kidding? And I'm like this crazy now. Like, I couldn't imagine what that would do to somebody, especially if they've really, really needed those accommodations and really, really needed that understanding and that patience and that care for themselves. I would just lose my mind. Like, I would just lose my mind. I probably should have scripted this video. Might have been better for you all. But you need to see, the crazy. Because the crazy is real, and it just feels very intense some days. And getting extra upset in moments when you feel truly cheated, you feel like, no, you're getting mad at me because I'm being autistic right now, and that's not fair. Get your brakes checked, buddy. Jeez Louise. Really? Anyways. You're getting mad at me because I'm being autistic right now, and that's not cool. But like, you can't force people to get it. People are gonna get it or they're not. They're gonna take the time to do the research and to care, or they're not. And I have experience with both of these kinds of people. And in some instances it's really disappointing, but you have to remember that everybody's doing their own thing. Like, you are not the center of everyone's world, as much as you might like to be in a moment where you truly need it because you didn't have it at a point in your life where you should have been the center of the world. Like, do you know what I mean? So you feel like you want and need it now, but everybody, right? Because like all the stuff that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, deaths in the family, my business failing, life, depression, anxiety. Oh, and then not even to mention the massive like health problems that I've been having over the last almost 2 years now, actually. So started around the time my grandma passed away. My digestive system just went to absolute garbage and like random pain. I have fibromyalgia now. That's nice. That was a nice little trinket. Just tuck that in my pocket. And we don't know what the digestive stuff is. My uterus has been on fire for the last however many months. That's been fabulous. We don't know. It might be endo. We're not sure. That's been a few years in the making though. And there's a whole story behind that. You guys don't need to know about that at this exact juncture. I've totally lost my train of thought. Did you see it? Did you actually see it leave my head? Oh, yes. Okay. We're gonna leave that in because that was pretty funny. It's not just happening to me. Like health stuff, life stuff. It doesn't just happen to you. It happens to everybody, right? And I know that you wish that as a disabled person, you could be considered in the ways that would make your life a little bit less crappy, but that isn't always the case. And there are going to be some people who profoundly get it, and there are going to be some people who profoundly don't. And in those moments when people don't understand, the best thing that you can do is just hang on for dear life, get through whatever moment that you're in, and then when you get to your safe space, wherever your safe space is, wherever your safe space is, if it's your bedroom, if it's your bathroom, if it's your home, your entire space that you have to yourself, whatever that looks like for you, when you get into that space, then like hermit it up, okay, under all the blankets, or get stark the F naked, get in your sensory swing, I don't care, whatever it is, have a bath, you know, hide in a closet where it's dark, put your headphones on, do whatever you have to do to accommodate yourself. Because at the end of the day, for those of us who are privileged enough to be able to do that, you need to do that, right? And of course, I feel like hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to have like a disclaimer at the beginning of all my videos, because I am what is considered a low support needs, high masking individual, and there's a lot of privilege that comes with that. Now, I know 2 years into this, I am not actually low support needs. I'm not as low support needs. I actually need a lot of help with a lot of things. We just, you know, when you mask as hard as you do because you feel like you have to fit in, to keep yourself safe, to be functional, whatever, that, you know, anyways, that's a whole thing. But keeping in mind that with me being the way that I am, there is a certain amount of privilege that comes with that. And so I absolutely want to recognize those of you who do not share in that privilege and who may be having a much greater struggle than I am. Please, with any and all of my content, it is purely from my point of view. This is my sort of anecdotal experience, right? That's the whole thing, because I don't want to speak on behalf of other people, because this is just my kind of, you know, kick at the can, as it were. However, I invite you, if you are able to, leave your thoughts, additional comments and things in the comment section down below, as you guys have done previously on my other content on my other channel. Do that here, please. Let's hear from as many different autistic voices as possible. If you are not on the spectrum and you would like to be a part of the conversation, you are welcome to as well. I just ask that everybody really listen to us. When we say the things that we say, we don't say it because we have nothing better to say or do or whatever. It's just that we are trying to communicate, and we're not always great at it, but that's okay. I want to thank those of you who joined like right away, who subscribed. That was crazy. I was not prepared to go from 2 to like, I don't even know, are we at 200 and something now? I don't even know. It's been nuts though, and I am massively appreciative. I am not going to be pushing the everybody like and subscribe. Like, I just want to hopefully reach you guys. So if you find my content helpful and you wish to share it with somebody, or you wish to engage in the comment section, please do that. That is what means the most to me, and will hopefully, you know, help the algorithms know who to show my content to. That's the only thing. So other than that, I love you, my friends. We're going to call you my friends. My friends, my fam. I love you guys. And thank you so much for being here on this journey with me. I have so much more content coming. Buckle up. Leave suggestions for things you want me to talk about down below. I have like hundreds already saved, but I'd like to keep going. And I look forward to catching you guys all again in my next video. I can't say happy stimming. Oh God, I'm such a dork. Bye for now. I need an outro. Somebody give me an outro. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.